Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, today we are diving into something absolutely fascinating. We're going to take a very familiar concept, the classic Greek myth of the Midas touch, and we're looking at a story that flips it completely on its head, turning it into this profound psychological thriller. We are exploring the classic folklore of Sonaki Shahrazadi, the legend of Princess Alina of Meherstan, who you might know better as the Golden Princess. Now, on the surface, sure, it sounds like a simple story about magic, but as we're going to see, it is actually a masterful, incredibly deep exploration of human nature, the illusion of wealth, and the hidden depths of the human heart. Let's just jump right into it.
I want you to just think about this for a second. What if the greatest superpower in the world was actually a mirror to your soul? I mean, we all fantasize about having limitless power, right? Or unimaginable wealth. But what if that power didn't actually change the world around you? What if, instead, it exposed exactly who you really are on the inside? Well, that is the terrifying reality our protagonist, Princess Alina, was born into. And you really have to consider the sheer cruel irony of her situation. Princess Alina was born with this power to turn literally anything she touched into solid gold. But because of this so-called gift, she actually hadn't eaten in 3 days. Just imagine the agony of that for a moment. The royal servants would try everything. They'd try to feed her using long wooden spoons and these wooden tubes, but the very second the food got near her, it turned into a heavy pile of gold. Water? It froze into golden metal the second it even touched her lips. She was literally starving to death while trapped inside the wealthiest palace on Earth.
Section 1. The Golden Curse.
So, Alina's father, King Ziryab, didn't exactly see his daughter's condition as a tragedy. To him, she was an endless economic resource. He essentially forced her to turn carts of iron and stone into gold so he could build his massive armies and these towering palaces, all while keeping her completely isolated from the world. But right in the middle of all this deception, there was this quiet voice of truth. Alina's grandmother once told her, "Gold can illuminate hands, not hearts. Do not believe everything your father says." And this quote is absolutely crucial because it hints that there is a deeper, hidden mechanic to Alina's magic, something her father was entirely blind to. He thought he was mastering the magic, but he didn't actually understand it at all.
The whole illusion shatters with this crazy inciting incident that changes everything. A desperate 7-year-old boy manages to break into Alina's room. His mother is dying, and he's just begging the princess to touch a small clay bottle so he can go sell the gold and buy medicine. Alina is terrified. She backs away, but the boy trips. Purely out of reflex, Alina reaches out to catch him, but when her golden palm touches his wrist, there's a sound of shattering glass. The boy doesn't turn to gold. He turns into a completely transparent, pure glass statue. King Ziryab rushes in, and his immediate reaction? Hide the boy to protect the Golden Empire. Alina's just furious at his total lack of empathy for this poor child, so she slaps her father right across the face, and instantly, the king doesn't turn to gold either. He turns into a crumbling statue of black coal. Section 2. Revealing the True Heart. So let's decode the symbolic magic of this curse, because this is where the story gets brilliant. Alina starts following clues left in a secret library, and the absolute judgment of the spell becomes crystal clear. Let's break it down. That poor child turned to glass because he possessed pure innocence. His heart had absolutely nothing to hide. King Zirian turned to coal, which is this dark, destructive material, because it represented a heart blackened by malice, cruelty, and oppression. And gold? Well, gold was simply the manifestation of greed. The reason ordinary objects and greedy men turned to gold was because the magic was actually feeding on the greed of the kingdom itself. The absolute crucial point here, the big takeaway, is this. The magic doesn't change you, it reveals you. Alina's touch was never a forge creating precious metals. It was a devastatingly honest mirror. It looked directly into a person's soul and manifested their ultimate truth right there on the outside. Section 3. The Wizard's Condition. Armed with this pretty terrifying knowledge, Alina wraps her hands in silk bandages, disguises herself, and journeys to the dark northern mountains to confront Wizard Zaharan, the original caster of the spell. Zaharan admits he cast it as a curse on King Ziryab for imprisoning his family. But to reverse it, he gives Alina an almost impossible set of rules. Step 1. Someone must willingly touch her. She cannot initiate the contact. Step 2. That person must possess absolute zero greed in their heart. Literally not even a fraction. And step 3, if they fail, if there is even a momentary split-second flash of desire for wealth or power, they will instantly suffer eternal death as a solid gold statue. Now, remember, this is a kingdom conditioned for decades to worship wealth and status. Finding someone with absolute zero greed
That is practically a death sentence. Section 4, a selfless sacrifice. Which brings us right to the climax of our story. Alina returns to the central square of Maharistan. The wizard announces these impossible rules to thousands of citizens. And then, just complete silence. Some brave soldiers try to step forward, but they just freeze in terror. A royal minister actually reaches out, but then he catches sight of the royal crown, feels a little pang of greed, and literally runs away. Out of thousands of people, not a single soul dares to risk their life. Alina is right on the verge of walking away in despair when a voice calls out. Enter Haris. He's a farmer's son, dressed in simple, worn clothes. Turns out, he was Alina's only childhood friend. They used to play in the dirt together before he was banished 10 years ago by the king. And he steps right out from this terrified crowd and walks straight up to the Golden Princess.
Alina is frantic. She begs him to stay away, warning him that even a single selfish wish will end his life. Haris just smiles and admits, well, he does have a wish. The crowd gasps. But then he says this, and it's just so beautiful. My wish is that you can eat bread, drink water, touch flowers, and not fear going near anyone. This is my wish, but there is nothing in it for me.
Alina pulls her hand back, absolutely terrified for him. I don't want to lose you, she cries. And Haris responds so softly, you lose me the day I leave you alone. The entire kingdom is holding its breath. Lightning is flashing across the sky, and Haris reaches out and firmly grasps Alina's golden hand. The very second their skin connects, that deadly magic activates. The golden light surges from Alina's hands and shoots straight into Haris's fingers. His veins are glowing. The magic travels directly to his heart. And the curse is frantically searching his chest for anything to feed on, right? A desire for the crown, a wish for gold, maybe even a hidden dream of marrying the princess. It searches, and it finds absolutely nothing. Nothing but a pure, completely selfless desire to take away his friend's pain. Section 5. The true meaning of wealth. Because this curse literally cannot survive in a heart completely devoid of greed, it overloads. A massive blast of golden light erupts from Haris's chest, and it shatters the curse into thousands of tiny glowing fireflies drifting up into the sky. And this sets off this incredible chain reaction. The glass boy, he takes a sudden breath and runs crying to his mother. King Ziryab turns back into a human, although he permanently loses his crown. Before all this, Maharistan was just an illusion of wealth. Golden palaces built on the backs of starving people. But after, they found true prosperity. Those golden gates were melted down to build public bridges. The royal vaults were thrown open to dig canals for dried-up farms, to build hospitals, and to finally feed the hungry. The kingdom actually genuinely became wealthy. Flash forward a few months later, and Alina is standing quietly in the royal gardens. It starts to rain. She holds out her hand, and the water doesn't turn to metal. It just stays water. Haris walks up and hands her a simple red apple. She takes a bite. For the first time in years, she can actually taste fruit. She reaches out and takes Haris's hand. And this time, there is no magic, no statues, no explosions. Just two people, standing in the rain. Their hands totally empty, but their hearts completely full. The legend of Sone Ki Shahzadi leaves us with this incredibly profound moral philosophy, and it's this. Greed turns us to gold, malice to coal, but selfless love conquers all curses. It is such a powerful reminder that our true worth isn't determined by the material wealth we accumulate, but rather by the purity of our intentions and the selflessness of our actions. Which brings us to the end of our explainer today. But before we wrap up, I want to leave you with this final, somewhat provocative thought. We've seen exactly what happened to the king, to the innocent child, and to those greedy ministers. So ask yourself, if your heart was touched today, what material would it reveal? Something to think about, right? Thanks for joining me on this incredible journey, and keep seeking the truth behind the illusion.